Green flag is out in the air, and James Pierce gets a great start over his teammate of Jeremy Littleton. We're going into turn 1 now, side by side, and it looks like Jeremy Littleton's going to lose another position. He's up to P3 now, and that puts Dan Tenorio in P2. The top 5 are now single file. Cameron Keeley in P4. Alexander Light is currently your top 5. We're watching a battle here for P3 between Cameron Keeley and Jeremy Littleton.
Here we are coming off this corner. Oh, we got multiple cars off track in the background there. Many guys missed that turn into the runoff area. Big contact here for Oceans.
What happened between these 3 guys back here? Oh! Dallas Seward, possibly. Let's go ahead and look once again. Number 38 Porsche here, just missing the braking zone a little bit. Leading the field to green. He's got Dan Tenorio behind him. James Littleton behind him. And we are green flag racing. James Pierce gets a great start over his teammate of Dan Tenorio. Let's see if Dan can do anything through turns 1 and 2 here. As you see James hitting a little bit of the grass. A really wide apex for Dan Tenorio. Now we're going down the straightaway into turn 3. We've got a good battle here between Dan and Jeremy. Let's see what happens at the exit.
Oh, here comes Cameron Keeley. He's going to send it in here into turn 3. He's going to try to make it happen. We're going to go side by side here off the corner. Keeley's going to forgive that position back to Littleton in the 619 car, as they're going to continue to go single file here through this little tight section, the street course-esque section here, as we got your first 5-6 cars here in a single file line, as James Pierce continues to lead over Tenorio right here. As you see Alexander Light all over the back of Littleton, as Littleton seems to be struggling here a little bit on this initial restart. He's kind of faded through the field here. He's already lost 2 positions since the start of this race, and now he's actually found a little bit of pace. He's checking away from Alexander Light as he's going to reapply the pressure here to Cameron Keeley as we're heading for turn 3. And who's that back? There's a Javon Thompson taking a real different line down the straightaway. That's Rafael Santos looking to the outside of him here, heading into turn 3. And we've got a big move behind. That's Gregory Shaw trying to make a move. You know, he made his pit stop before this green flag went back in the air.
Javon's got a lot of damage to that car right now. He's letting everybody else go by at the moment. Jeremy Littleton going on the defensive, but from the 54 car behind him, he's still trying to track down that P3 position. The BMW, the number 63 BMW, holding very well onto that P3 as he tries to go on the defensive and the offensive to try to track down Dan Tenorio. Dan Tenorio still trying to keep a hold with his P2 place and trying to track down the P1 place of James Pierce, but that gap has now increased to 3 seconds. We see a little bit of a tighter battle here between Jeremy Littleton, Cameron Keeley, and Alexander Light. Cameron Keeley, though, may have went a little slower that time by. Let's see what it shapes out to be. Yeah, Littleton, 0.4 seconds quicker. A bad lap for Keeley there, as now the 619 is catching up to the 63, up to his rear bumper going into turn 3.
As you see a little bit of conservative driving here out of Littleton. It looked like he might have had an opportunity, thought better of it, decided to follow right behind Cameron Keeley. He knows he's quicker, and he's just kind of following him to see where he can make his pass or make his move on Keeley. As you know that he has Alexander Light behind him, he doesn't want to get too aggressive and open the door up for Alexander Light behind them. They're not losing a whole lot of time to your leader. They haven't lost more than what they've been behind the last 2 or 3 laps here, so just being a little conservative right now as Littleton's looking to the inside of Keeley. We're going to go side by side here. Keeley's got the preferred line. And now this can open the door for Light. Light's looking to the inside of Littleton. We're going to look at it side by side here. No, Littleton's going to be able to prevail in this battle and stay in front of Alexander Light.
Looks like Cameron Keeley's going on a little bit of a defensive line there going into that corner. As now we get back into the technical part, we see Alexander Light working his way back to the rear bumper of the 619. Maybe a little bit of a defense that we see out of Jeremy coming through these corners here, as he might just be a little bit slower than the people around him through these sets of corners now, as Littleton still trying to get back around the number 63 BMW. coming through these final corners and coming on to the front straightaway. We're going to be... Oh, he pits! Jeremy Littleton is your first guy to pit under green.
Yeah, this was a great call here for the pit crew there or the pit strategy here for Littleton to make that pit stop when they did. He knew he was losing time to the leader and was not able to successfully get by the 63 of Keeley. Maybe he's changed up the strategy a little bit here. Maybe he'll be able to shortcut them and leap them through this pit cycle and put himself in a better position. Maybe the right strategy. We'll have to see how this plays out. But now he's stuck back in traffic here. I believe he's right here behind Oceans. Let's see if he can make the move. Excuse me, that's not Oceans. That's Blake Nave. As Blake Nave throws a heck of a block here. It's not going to matter, though, because Littleton's going to send it in on the outside where side-by-side contact is made. Oh, my goodness. Nave nearly makes wall contact, but that's going to move. Littleton past him up back into P7 as he continues his charge back to the front after this pit stop.
A good battle between the BMWs now. Cameron Keeley, Alexander Light going to be duking it out now, going through this technical part of the racetrack and onto the back straightaway as Alexander Light is getting to the rear bumper. Oh, we got a car in the wall. That's Keith Brubaker.
Maybe it's time for a pit stop and abort this strategy as he continues to follow. As we got a wreck up here, Jeremy Littleton. After his pit stop, he's in the wall.
We'll go ahead and look at this just real quick to see what happened to this number 65 machine. As he's now coming through the last corner to come down the back straightaway. Just gets loose and spins it out. Maybe a little bit of contact there. Nothing.
Yeah, this is going to be a big-time overtake here for Gregory Shaw if he can make this happen. I know he's ran him down over the last few laps. Let's see if he can make the move. Oh, he uses a lot of curb, nearly makes wall contact. He's really using up the track. Just going to kind of plant the throttle here. He's going to use up more of the track. Nearly makes wall contact. As you see him on the charge here, we're going to go on board as he continues his charge here down this back straightaway. Can he make a move here on Blake Nave? Blake Nave is kind of playing defensive right there. As you see the 45 of Shaw looking right to the outside. He's going to follow him through this little inner loop section. Nearly makes bumper contact. Little bit of bumper business here to Blake Nave in that BMW. He's going to drop right up to the bumper. Oh, more bit. Maybe some more bumper business here through that last part of the inner loop as we're going to head down this little short shoot before we head into this right-hander for another short shoot. He's about a half a car length back now. Still charging to get by Blake Nave.
Coming through the final corners now of the track, the 51 makes contact with the wall a little bit right there. That is what the 45 needs, a little bit of a slowdown for the 51 as the 45 continues to push on, crossing the start-finish line now. Gregory Shaw, just a little bit slower than Blake Nave that time by, but still all over his rear bumpers. He continues to battle it out for P7. Coming down the straightaway now, he's going to get that really nice draft. Going into turn 3, it's not going to happen, but Gregory Shaw in the 45. Oh, the 51, he goes wide. The 45 is underneath him. Now they're going into turn 4. The 45 is going to relent that position back to the 51. He might be setting something up here now. Going through turn 6 and into turn 7. The 51 loses it once again. The 45 on the inside of the 51. They're going to go down the back straightaway, side by side. These guys duking it out for P7.
Door to door, wheel to wheel, as now you see Gregory Shaw up on the outside. Blake Nave making a few mistakes allowed this to happen. Oh, Shaw, he sent it in. Does he make the corner? Nearly makes wall contact. Blake Nave looking to the outside, to the inner loop. Oh, a lot of curb was there. I think Blake Nave got in the back of Gregory Shaw. He lost a lot of time there, as now Gregory Shaw is pulling away from Blake Nave. What a battle, what a move by Gregory Shaw. He sent it in to that corner and made it happen. Nearly didn't make the corner, but he did. And now he's up to P7, past Blake Nave. What a battle we just witnessed.
Looking at just about 5.5 minutes left. 4.5 minutes left in this race. Couple more laps to go for these guys. Maybe they can make it. James Pierce is on pit road. This is going to be very interesting to see what James Pierce can do coming through these really tight corners now. Coming down the back straightaway, he's got to get a good run coming off this corner to stay into the draft of the number 54 car, as the 54 does increase that gap just a little bit more. Now going down the back straightaway and into the next turn here. Let's see if he can make up any ground coming through this technical section. James Pierce pitting, going all the way back to P4. The 54 goes a little wide right there. He saves it, but James Pierce is going to capitalize on it just a little bit inching closer to the rear bumper of the 54. And now coming into the last few corners of this lap, the 54 does not get a good exit like he wanted. Now, trying to go side by side, not gonna happen. The 54 is holding up the number 1 Porsche. Oh, he makes contact with the wall. James Pierce, heavy contact. That is not what he needed. It's going to damage his car. It might not be enough for the 1 car to get back onto the podium as Alexander Light now is increasing that gap. He is, this is incredible. Oh, that's the checker flag. Dan Tenorio just won this race. Dan, this is Thomas and Jay in the booth. You got a copy?
How's it going, guys?
Dan, what a great, consistent, and great planning that you did to hold on to that P1 position. I just gotta ask, Dan, how close were you on fuel?
I crossed the line with 0.0 gallons left.
It was on fumes. That's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
So, we had our conversations with the others, talking about a little bit of fuel here. Cameron was pretty much good with 1 to go, and Alexander was also pretty low on fuel too. But when you saw the number 1 Porsche of James Pierce pit, were you concerned in any way? I mean, you put yourself into a position where you got a really good gap between you and 3rd place at the time. Did that really maybe bring to light your worst fear of possibly running out of fuel?
Honestly, that last lap run was not planned. I was 100% planning on pitting because James and I were talking in voice chat and we're planning and it was like, oh man, we're gonna have to pit. I was like, oh, I should have saved this entire race. I probably could have made it. And then I don't know if you saw, but I was angling my car towards the pit lane, and then the white flag came out, and then I immediately jerked it back to the left. I was like, we're either going to run out of fuel or we're going to win this thing. So
Yes, I like the thought process. Absolutely. Well, I mean, nonetheless, you had a very fast car. If fuel didn't play in part of it in any way, I mean, you still put on a heck of a performance being up there and putting a pretty good gap between you and the car behind you. Congratulations on your win tonight, Dan. I mean, I'm almost speechless. I mean, that was just a heck of a drive. I mean, heads up as well, head on a swivel. You saw the white flag. You were diving into pit road, and you said, nope, not this time. That's crazy to me. Great heads up driving there. But Jay, that's all I got for Dan here. What do you got for him?
Yeah, congratulations, Dan, on taking the victory here tonight, putting it on the razor's edge and pulling it off. What an incredible drive that you did tonight. Who do you have to thank for your performance here?
Thank you. I would like to thank James Pierce. I mean, I drove well, yes, but he was clearly the better driver today. If he wouldn't have had to pit, he would have smoked me. But yeah, thanks for him for inviting me to the series. Thank you guys for having me. Thanks to Twisted. We've always been together. We kind of help each other, throw each other setups, push each other to be better. Other than that, yeah, it was a great race. It was fun. Belle Isle is a hell of a track. I am sweating, but yeah, no, it was a fun one.
Absolutely. Dan, we appreciate you coming out here and giving us some great content to talk about. Pretty much just reaffirming what we say week in and week out. Some of the best drivers in the business on the service. It's great to hear it from a new driver, Dan Tenorio here, saying, practically the same thing. We'll just go with it. How about that? But again, congratulations, Dan, on your P1 finish for tonight, and we hope to see you in the next one.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.